Today on the show, we're going to be talking about the new 52 Origins for Superboy, as told in Secret Origins number 7. And we're going to be doing a giveaway, so please hang around till the end of the video to figure out how to enter that. So our story starts out with us seeing Kon. He's walking somewhere. He's basically saying the main struggle of growing up is trying to figure out who you are. And trying to figure out who you are is just another word for growing up, or another way to say growing up. But he does reveal that he thinks different rules apply to him because he is a clone. And then it's revealed that he is walking to Star Labs. They're going to do a blood test on him so they can figure out who he really is. They start to take blood from Kon and they tell him just to talk about his life. And he says that he started out as a clone and he didn't know who he was. And that's why he listened to people like Rose Wilson and Harvest, because they gave him guidance and that's something he didn't have. So obviously listening to someone when you literally have nothing is a full sense of security. It was only when he started working with the Titans and he started to develop his own feelings and emotions towards different things and different people, like his romantic feelings towards Cassie, that he really started to figure out who he was, but he still felt like a fake because he was a clone. Kon then explains how his powers work to the Doctor. He reveals that he doesn't actually have Superman's powers. He has a telekinetic ability that allows him to imitate some of Superman's powers. Essentially, he does have a similar power set, but not exactly the same. He's got some of his own powers, but at the core of him, he is a different superhero, and he's also not affected by kryptonite. He then goes on to explain that after meeting Superman, he realizes that he was created to be a hero. And like any teenager would do when they're lost and confused and they're told this is what you're supposed to do, he rebelled against it. But shortly after this, he ended up becoming a cosmic herald, which actually kept him away from stopping John Lane Kent, a Superboy from the future, who actually came back to the present to make sure a future would happen in his own image. Kon would only just be released from his cosmic servitude to stop John Lane Kent. What worried Kon wasn't that people could come back from the future to change the past, it was the fact that John could change the past so drastically in such a short amount of time. By seeing this, he realized the whole world is constantly changing and people are constantly changing. And while Kon will never be Superman, he will be Superboy. He can be his own person and discover his own identity. Then, shortly after this, he leaves the lab without looking back, and it's revealed that even though he said he wasn't a Kryptonian, he is actually 45% Kryptonian, 45% human, and 10% something else. So, not to be deep, but this issue of Secret Origins is the most relatable that I found Superboy through all of the new 52. In his 90s run and in the 2003 run of the Teen Titans, he really was an allegory for finding your place in the world, finding out who you really are, and he meant a lot to me in that respect. You know, growing up as a little gay kid that had to really come to terms with the fact that they were gay, I had a lot to identify with there, you know, because I had to really be comfortable with who I was and figure out where I stood and what I stood for in a world that wasn't friendly for gay people at the time and still isn't friendly for gay people, but it's a damn sight better than it was. So the fact that Superboy had to deal with the fact that he was a clone and figure out who the hell he was from such a young age, and I had to figure out who the hell I was at such a young age because I was gay, I had a lot to relate to there. In DC Rebirth, they are not doing Kon, they are doing Superman's son, pre-New 52 Superman's son, and he's actually in the book Super Sons. He's in a team up with Damian Wayne, which is kind of cool. It sounds fun, but it's not Kon, it's not Superboy in my eyes. What they're doing is less Superboy in the state that he's been in since the 90s and more Super Lad. And while I do think change is good, I really do wish they had called him Super Lad, because as far as the past 2 to 3 generations of comic readers are concerned, Kon is Superboy. In about a year or two's time, I would actually like Kon to come back in his 90s costume and discover like he's bisexual or gay or something, or go through a period where he's convinced that he's gay and then he thinks that he's bisexual, and we see that confusion on top of the fact that he's still dealing with the fact that he's a clone. I would really like to see that, because it would kind of ground his character in a way, because yeah, figuring out who you are because you're a clone is one thing, but it would sort of bring a level of reality to his character that I do feel was missing in the New 52. And that level of reality was present pre-New 52 through his interactions with the Titans and the Young Justice teams, but he was more friendly pre-New 52, let's face it. DC does have quite a few gay characters, but we've yet to really explore a gay person figuring out who they are as a result of them being gay. We've yet to have a very, very good, heartbreaking, but also sort of tear-jerking and positive coming out story in Marvel and DC. I think Kon is an obvious fit for that type of story. What his character represents and what the LGBT community kind of goes through works perfectly. They wouldn't be suddenly turning him gay because, yeah, he's had relationships with Cassie in the past, but lots of gay people have relationships with women and then discover they're gay. However, this is just my opinion, and if you've got a different opinion, that's totally okay. So long as your opinion isn't just being gay is bad, then, you know, it's whatever. But if your opinion is being gay is bad, you're kind of a homophobic asshole. So now onto the part that you've all been waiting for, the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away the first 2 volumes of the New 52 Superboy run. And what you have to do to enter is 1, leave a comment down below. This comment can be anything you want, just leave a comment down below. Number 2, be subscribed to this channel and my side channel, It's Not Very Effective. There'll be a link on the screen and in the description down below. And number 3, share this video on social media. It can be Facebook, it can be Twitter, it can be Tumblr, and use the hashtag I like Superboy because, and then just tell me why you like Superboy after that hashtag. If your only exposure to Superboy has been through the Young Justice cartoon, I definitely recommend you pick up his 90s run and try and read his New 52 run, because he is a very different character in the comics to what he was in the Young Justice cartoon. In fact, I think he's a much better character in the comics, and I relate to him a lot more in the comics, and I didn't find myself relating to him in the Young Justice cartoon. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. So what do you think of Superboy? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking my Patreon if you want to see bigger and better and more frequent history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my vlogging channel if you want to enter the giveaway and if you want to follow about my daily life, because I'm doing bi-weekly life vlogs now. But that is it. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective. There's so much positivity that can come from this character if he's utilized properly. I feel like that's the state DC's been in since 2011 though. There's a lot of positivity potential there, just waiting to be tapped into. They just kind of need the right writers and the right events to come into place. And then they could be a really, really positive, fun comic book company that changes a lot of people's lives through the messages that they share. And that's kind of what I miss about the early 2000s era in comics, where every single comic had a message, and every single message was something positive. You could learn something from everything you read.